There's something surrounding you, an invisible field, a subtle force you can sense even if your eyes have never seen it. Maybe you've felt it before without realizing. Have you ever stepped into a room and felt like something was just off? A strange heaviness hanging in the air, a tension you couldn't explain? Or perhaps you've met someone whose presence drained you, not by what they said, but by how you felt around them, like your inner peace was quietly being siphoned away. If you've experienced anything like that, you've already brushed up against this hidden reality. You were in contact with something ancient and real, something that lives in the space between atoms, in the silence between thoughts. It's not fantasy. It's not some mystical secret guarded by monks in mountaintop temples. It's energy. And the truth is, you've been interacting with it your whole life. This isn't just philosophy or spiritual jargon. This is a reflection of something fundamental, your own consciousness extending beyond your skin. Just like the wind moves through the trees and sets the leaves into motion even though you can't see it, energy flows through and around you, interacting with everything. And here's what no one really told you. You can feel it, you can influence it, you can train yourself to interact with it as naturally as you speak, move, or breathe. The only real wall between you and that power is a belief that it's not possible. But if you're still listening, maybe some part of you already knows that it is. For generations, this understanding has been treated as mystical knowledge, reserved for monks, sages, or gurus in far-off lands. But what was once hidden in sacred texts and whispered in ancient temples has started to re-emerge in our collective awareness. It turns out that sensing and shaping energy isn't a divine gift for the chosen few. It's a skill, a muscle of perception that can be built, stretched, and refined. And you've probably already noticed the early signs without knowing what they meant. That sudden chill with no breeze, a pressure behind your forehead that comes and goes, a tingling in your palms for no reason at all. Those weren't accidents. Your body was picking up signals. You just hadn't yet learned the language. So welcome. You're not entering new territory. You're finally naming a place you've been many times before. You're standing at the doorway of what could be called the unseen world, but it's more accurate to say it's the deeply felt world, a world you've always been a part of. Let's begin with something that seems far too ordinary to be powerful: your breath. Breathing is the one thing you've done since the moment you were born, without pause, without instruction. It's so automatic we often overlook its deeper potential. But breath is the thread that weaves together your physical body, your emotional rhythms, and your energetic state. It is the only system you can control both consciously and unconsciously, and that makes it the perfect tool for accessing your internal energy field. If you watch a sleeping infant, you'll notice their belly gently rising and falling with each breath. Natural, full, effortless. But as we grow up and absorb stress, fear, and societal pressure, we lose this instinct. We start breathing shallowly from our chest, cutting ourselves off from the deep, grounding rhythm that once nourished us. It's like living with only half the lights turned on. And that shallow breath, it weakens the current of your energy. It makes your inner river stagnant. You feel tired, disconnected, trapped in mindless patterns. Let's change that right now. Close your eyes, even if just for a moment, and bring your attention inward. Take a slow inhale through your nose, expanding your belly like a balloon. Pause gently at the top and shift your focus to the center of your chest. Then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing tension, thoughts, anything that doesn't serve you. Continue for a few minutes and just observe. You may notice warmth spreading through your core, a slight vibration, a gentle pulsation in your hands or forehead. These are not imagined. These are the first signs that your energy is starting to respond. Now, let's add something to deepen this practice. As you breathe in, Visualize a soft light entering with the air, any color that feels right, and picture it flooding your body, flowing into every cell. On each exhale, see that light pushing out anything heavy, dark, or stuck, releasing it into the air like a mist dissolving. If you want to take it further, place your hand over your chest or your lower belly. That simple contact directs your focus and helps you guide the flow where you want it to go. This is your first conscious interaction with the field of energy that's always surrounded you. If you do this every day, strange things might start to happen. You'll begin noticing subtle sensations at random times, surges of warmth, waves of emotion, spontaneous clarity. You might walk into a space and instantly know something about it. You'll start reading rooms, people, and energies without trying. This is not intuition in the mystical sense. It's your energetic sensitivity awakening. It's your body finally remembering how to listen. Now imagine for a moment, not just feeling this energy, but seeing it. Visualizing it moving through your body like rivers of light. That's the next step. Because this isn't just theory or belief. There's a blueprint, a map of your energy body that has been known and practiced in traditions all around the world. It's time to tap into that. You may have heard the words before: chakras, meridians, nadis. But these aren't just spiritual symbols. They're practical systems for understanding how your energy is organized and how it flows. Think of your chakras as vital energy centers, each one like a wheel or station that governs part of your physical, emotional, and spiritual self. When these centers are flowing freely, you feel alive, aligned, at peace. When they're blocked or misaligned, you feel off, and often you don't know why. At the base of your spine sits the root chakra, linked to your sense of safety, stability, and belonging. If this is blocked, fear creeps in. Fear of change, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. Just above, near your belly, the sacral chakra governs creativity, pleasure, emotional openness. When closed, it can bring emotional numbness or a disconnection from joy. Higher still in your upper abdomen is the solar plexus, the core of your willpower, confidence, and direction. If that's not balanced, you might feel anxious, indecisive, or constantly second-guessing yourself. In the center of your chest lies the heart chakra, the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. It holds love, compassion, trust. A closed heart might make you guarded, distant, or disconnected from others. Move up to the throat. Your voice, your truth, your ability to express yourself without fear. If blocked, you may feel stifled, misunderstood, or hesitant to speak your mind. Between the brows sits the third eye, the seat of your inner vision, your insight, your connection to higher wisdom. When clouded, you may cling too tightly to logic and lose sight of your intuitive knowing. And at the crown, the very top of your head, is the portal to something greater, your connection to purpose, to the divine, to a vastness beyond words. A blocked crown can leave you feeling isolated or like life has no deeper meaning. What's incredible is that you can begin to sense these centers for yourself. Right now, place your hand over your heart. Close your eyes and breathe gently into that space. Just observe. Do you feel a warmth building there? A subtle hum? Maybe even a tiny flicker of electricity or emotion? That is energy. That is your own body speaking back to you. These chakras don't exist alone. They're connected by channels. Nadis in the yogic tradition, meridians in Chinese medicine. Think of them like highways that carry energy across the body. The main central channel, often called Sushumna, runs up your spine. Two smaller channels, Ida and Pingala, spiral around it, balancing masculine and feminine energies, logic and emotion, action and reflection. When these flows are open, you feel in tune. When they're blocked, you feel like you're forcing your way through life. And these aren't abstract ideas. If you've ever felt a sudden shiver down your spine, a rush of warmth during a moment of clarity, or a tingling at the top of your head when something just felt right, that was energy moving through your channels. That was you, momentarily aligned. You can enhance this flow with movement, gentle stretches, spinal twists, yoga poses, anything that gets your body to open and breathe. Massaging certain points on your hands or feet can activate entire energetic pathways. Acupressure, tapping, even intentional touch with breath can stimulate flow. And of course, conscious breathing, slow, deep, full, acts like a plow clearing out the pathways. As you begin incorporating these practices into your day, you'll feel a shift. A subtle one at first, more clarity, a bit more energy, a strange sense of peace. But over time, that shift becomes a transformation. You'll notice when something feels off. You'll adjust more easily. You'll walk into a room and feel everything before a single word is spoken. Because now you are attuned. This is the beginning of real power. The ability not just to feel energy, but to shape it. Now that you've begun to feel your own energy, noticed the way it stirs when you breathe, glows beneath your awareness, responds to your thoughts, it's time to go even deeper. Because sensing the flow is only the start. The true transformation begins when you learn to direct it. Just like a musician doesn't just hear notes, but crafts them into melodies, you too can shape the currents moving through your body and into the world around you. This isn't a metaphor. It's something you can experience directly, something tangible and real if you're willing to tune in and practice. Let's start with your hands. They're one of the most sensitive instruments for interacting with subtle energy. They can detect shifts in temperature, pressure, and texture, even in the absence of physical contact. And when it comes to energy, they act like antennas, transmitting and receiving signals all day long, even if you aren't consciously aware of it. You've probably already used them instinctively. When someone you love is in pain, where do you reach? When your own body aches, what do you touch? These gestures aren't random. They're ancient. They're echoes of the body's knowledge of energy flow. Let's try something now. Rub your palms together vigorously, creating warmth and friction. Do this until you start to feel a tingling sensation in your skin, a charge building up between them. Then slowly separate your hands, keeping your attention focused on the space between your palms. Close your eyes. As you move your hands slightly closer together, then apart again, begin to sense what's there. You may notice a subtle resistance, a magnetic-like push or pull. You might feel an invisible thickness between them, like a cushion of air. That's not your imagination. That's your energy. It may be faint at first, but as you continue, that sensation becomes more pronounced. Try shaping it. Imagine there is a sphere between your palms, a glowing orb of light and vibration. Visualize expanding it, then compressing it, like you're molding something malleable but weightless. As you move your hands in circular motions, see if the sensation grows stronger. Some people describe it as static electricity, a buzzing pulse, or a temperature shift. Others say it feels like they're holding a balloon made of pure intention. Whatever you feel, trust it. That's your direct interaction with what many cultures have called chi, prana, life force. This energy ball isn't just a toy. It's a training tool. Each time you do this, you're strengthening your perception. You're training your nervous system to recognize what the mind usually ignores. The more you do it, the more clearly you'll begin to sense these fields, not just between your hands, but around your whole body. You'll run your palm near your arm and feel something invisible push back. You'll move it across your chest and feel temperature shifts where none should exist. This sensitivity isn't magical. It's biological, natural, and profoundly empowering. As your awareness increases, you'll begin to sense where energy flows freely and where it stagnates. You'll feel lightness in some places and density in others. These are the energetic signatures of your body, revealing imbalances, tensions, or blockages. And once you know where they are, you can begin the real work, shifting them. Energy, like water, is meant to move. When it's stuck, it festers. But with your intention, your breath, and your focused awareness, you can get it flowing again. Here's a simple yet powerful practice. Choose a part of your body, your palm, your chest, your abdomen, and focus all your attention there. Breathe slowly. As you inhale, imagine light gathering in that area. Picture it becoming brighter, fuller, warmer. As you exhale, release anything heavy or dark from that space. Imagine it dissolving, dispersing, returning to the air. You may feel a tingling, a shift in sensation, or an emotional release. That's energy responding to your direction. The mind is not separate from the energy field. It is its command center. Where attention goes, energy flows. Let's go back to that energy ball between your hands. This time, don't just feel it, shape it. Imagine expanding it beyond your palms, growing it into a field that surrounds your entire body. Visualize it pulsing with light, changing color or density with your mood. Imagine compressing it into a concentrated orb, then releasing it like a wave into the space around you. These are not games. These are acts of creation. With every breath, every thought, you're forming patterns in the field around you. Learning to do this consciously is the essence of energy mastery. There's another layer to this work, channeling energy from one place to another. Sit comfortably and place one hand a few inches away from the other, palms facing each other. Now imagine that you're sending energy from one hand to the other, like a current of light. As you breathe in, draw energy into your dominant hand. As you breathe out, send it across the gap into the receiving hand. Feel the sensation shift. Maybe it tingles more in one hand, or there's a slight pressure. You're beginning to move energy intentionally. With time, you'll be able to send this current through your entire body, or even project it beyond yourself. And that's the next revelation. Energy is not limited to the body. It extends outward, forming a field that interacts with everything it touches. You might call it your aura, your electromagnetic field, your energetic presence. It's a tangible part of who you are, and whether you know it or not, it communicates constantly. People can feel it, rooms can hold it, and you can shape it. When you enter a space and feel tension in the air, that's your field brushing up against a collective imprint. When someone's gaze sends chills down your spine, you're not just reacting to their look, you're responding to their energy. This subtle language is always being spoken. The question is, can you hear it? And even more, can you speak it? By learning to feel your own energy field, you can begin to expand it at will. Imagine surrounding yourself with a soft shell of light, like a protective cocoon. Visualize it growing from your heart, extending outward, wrapping around your body in every direction. This isn't just defense. It's a way to claim your space, to own your presence in the world. You are not powerless in the face of other people's moods, negativity, or projections. You can choose what comes in and what stays out. You've likely experienced this without realizing. Have you ever felt exhausted after being around someone who complains constantly? Or instantly relaxed in the presence of someone calm and centered? That's energy exchange. But here's the important part. It's not passive. You can choose to ground, shield, or even uplift your energy in any moment. Let's take it a step further. What if you could cleanse your energy just like you wash your hands? What if you could clear away the emotional residue of a hard day, the tension you've absorbed from others, the heaviness that sometimes settles in your chest for no clear reason? You can, and it begins with intention. Stand or sit quietly, close your eyes, and imagine a gentle current of light moving through your body from head to toe. As it moves, It gathers everything that no longer serves you: doubt, fear, tension, fatigue, and carries it out through your breath or down into the earth. Some people visualize it as a waterfall of white or golden light. Others imagine smoke or dust being swept away. The image doesn't matter. What matters is the feeling of release. With each breath, you become clearer, lighter, more present. This daily energetic hygiene is not optional. As your sensitivity increases, so does your exposure. You begin to notice energies you once ignored. That's a gift, but without regular cleansing, it can become overwhelming. That's why grounding is so essential. To ground is to reconnect with the earth, to discharge excess energy and restore balance. It's as simple as walking barefoot on soil or grass, touching a tree, or sitting with your spine aligned and your feet flat. Visualize your energy sinking into the ground like roots. Feel the earth respond. Feel it stabilize you. You're not floating in space, you're held. Now, once you've cleansed and grounded your energy, you're in a position to project it. This is where the true artistry begins. You can send energy to specific areas of your body for healing. You can infuse objects with your intention. You can radiate calm into a chaotic space. You can even offer support to someone in pain, simply by holding them in your awareness and sending a wave of warmth and light their way. It may sound extraordinary, but in reality, it's what you've always done. Only now you're doing it with intention. You are a transmitter, a receiver, a living conduit of energy. And the more you tune in, the more you reclaim your power to shape not just your inner world, but the reality around you. As you continue down this path of energetic awareness, something within you begins to shift. Subtly at first, like a whisper growing louder in a quiet room, you start to notice how your inner world shapes your outer experience, not metaphorically, but literally. The way your thoughts seem to ripple into events, the way your emotional state can color an entire room, the way your energy can either attract or repel, depending on how aligned you are. And if you've gotten this far, it means you're no longer just observing these shifts. You're beginning to become the conductor. You're no longer a bystander in the energetic symphony around you. You're stepping into the role of composer. But with this deeper sensitivity comes a greater responsibility: cleansing and protecting your energy. Not in a paranoid or fearful way, but in the same way you tend to your physical hygiene. You wouldn't go days without washing your body, right? In the same way, your energy field requires regular care, because even though it's subtle, it's just as real, and it absorbs everything: emotions, tension, mental clutter, external projections. All of it sticks to you if you don't learn how to clear it. Let's begin with the most immediate and powerful tool you already have: your breath. Think of your breath as a vacuum for emotional debris and energetic buildup. With each inhale, you can draw in light, clarity, and coherence. With each exhale, you can release stagnation, density, and emotional noise. All it takes is awareness. Breathe in slowly. Imagine white or golden light filling your body. Exhale with intention, imagining that every ounce of heavy energy is dissolving like smoke being swept away by the wind. Now add your hands to this practice. Without touching your skin, gently sweep your palms down your arms, over your chest, your legs, like you're brushing off something invisible. You're helping redistribute your energy field, shaking loose what doesn't belong to you. With practice, this ritual becomes second nature. After stressful meetings, difficult conversations, or time spent in draining environments, you'll find yourself doing this automatically, clearing your field the way a bird shakes off water from its wings. Another powerful method for energetic cleansing is water itself. Water has a natural affinity for absorbing and carrying away what the body and spirit are ready to release. A simple shower can become a sacred ritual if approached with intention. As the water flows over you, Imagine it dissolving the energetic residue clinging to your field. Visualize it pulling away all the weight you've absorbed from others, thoughts, projections, unspoken emotions, and carrying it down the drain, back into the earth. Add sea salt to your bath, or use herbs like lavender, sage, or rosemary, and their frequencies will assist you in restoring balance. These ancient practices weren't superstitions. They were forms of energetic maintenance passed down through intuition. And still, there are times when cleansing isn't enough. Sometimes you need protection, not because the world is inherently hostile, but because your energy is precious and should be preserved. Picture this. You're walking into a space where emotions are high, or where tension lingers in the air. Maybe you're meeting someone whose energy you know tends to overwhelm you. In these moments, don't armor yourself with fear. Shield yourself with light. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Now visualize a luminous sphere forming around your body. It might be white, blue, golden, whatever color resonates with strength and peace to you. This sphere expands until it forms a gentle but impenetrable barrier between you and the external world. It doesn't block love or connection. It filters out what doesn't serve you. It's a declaration that your field is sacred and you get to choose what enters. You can refresh this shield anytime, anywhere, and over time, it becomes an extension of your intention, activating at the first sign of imbalance. But let's go one step deeper. Protection isn't always about creating boundaries. Sometimes it's about reconnecting, grounding your energy into the larger system of life, because much of what we call energetic dissonance is simply excess charge with no place to go. We carry too much mental stimulation, too much emotional friction, and it builds up in our field like static. The Earth, our oldest ally, knows how to handle this. Her frequency is constant, calming, magnetic, and when we plug into it, everything recalibrates. Grounding can be as simple as standing barefoot in the grass, lying on the soil, touching a tree, or even visualizing roots growing from your body into the earth below. As you do this, imagine all the excess energy draining out of you, your stress, your restlessness, your confusion, and sinking deep into the earth, where it is recycled, transmuted, returned to source. In return, you draw up strength, stability, and nourishment. You become rooted, balanced, present. This isn't just visualization, it's resonance. Your field aligns with the field of the planet. The more you ground, the more you realize something profound. Energy doesn't have to be rejected, fought, or feared. Even dense, heavy, uncomfortable energy has a role. It's raw information, a signal. And with the right tools, it can be transmuted. Transmutation means transformation. It's the process of taking something that feels negative and changing its frequency. Like turning lead into gold. Like shifting grief into wisdom. Like burning away confusion to reveal clarity. Here's how it starts. Awareness. When you feel heaviness in your chest, pressure in your head, or a restless agitation with no name, pause. Instead of trying to push it away, lean in. Ask yourself, where is this coming from? What thought, memory, or fear is behind it? What pattern is repeating itself? Energy is never random. It always carries a message. And when you meet it with curiosity instead of resistance, it begins to move. One of the most powerful places to practice transmutation is the solar plexus, the chakra located just above your navel. This is your inner alchemist, the place where fire meets willpower, where transformation takes root. Sit quietly and place your hand over this area. Breathe into it. Now imagine a golden flame burning within you, not one that destroys, but one that refines. Feed your heaviness into that flame, your fear, your anxiety, your uncertainty. Let it be transformed. Let the heat dissolve the tension, and allow the light to expand through your whole body. Color also carries frequency. If you're feeling weighed down by anger, fear, or sadness, surround yourself in violet light. This color has long been used for purification. It vibrates at a frequency that breaks down density and reassembles it into something lighter. Visualize it flowing through your body, washing over every cell. If you're tired, burned out, or uninspired, switch to gold or white light. Radiant, invigorating, uplifting. You'll be amazed how a simple shift in color can recalibrate your entire field, and it doesn't stop with your body. You can transmute the energy of your environment too. Have you ever entered a room and immediately felt heaviness? Or walked into someone's home and sensed the residue of unspoken tension? That's real. Spaces carry imprints, but you don't have to just endure it. You can change it. One of the fastest ways is through sound. Sound is energy in motion. It cuts through stagnation like a tuning fork piercing silence. You don't need expensive tools. Your own voice is enough. Try humming. A simple, elongated M sound. Feel it vibrate in your chest, your head, your bones. This vibration shakes loose what's stuck. You can chant, use tuning forks, sing bowls, or play binaural beats. Each frequency has a unique effect. Some energize, some relax, some clear blockages. Over time, you'll learn what your field needs and which sounds bring it back to harmony. Symbols, too, are ancient tools of transformation. A symbol is more than a mark. It's a code that speaks directly to your subconscious. Cultures across the globe have used sacred geometry, sigils, and runes to align energy with intention. You don't have to adopt anyone else's system. Create your own. Draw a symbol that represents peace, power, or clarity. Keep it with you. Meditate on it. Place it in your space. Over time, it becomes an anchor, an energetic access point that reconnects you with the state you desire. Crystals offer yet another form of support. They aren't magical objects. They're living minerals with structured vibrations that interact with your energy field. Clear quartz amplifies. Amethyst soothes. Obsidian shields. Rose quartz softens. When you hold them with intention, your field responds. Not because the crystal does the work for you, but because it mirrors and magnifies your own frequency. Let it be a partner, not a crutch. With all of these tools, breath, sound, color, symbol, crystals, movement, you're not just surviving in an energetic world. You're participating in it consciously. You're shaping it. And as you become more skillful, you realize something liberating. Nothing that enters your field has to control you. Not thoughts, not emotions, not external energy. You are the architect. You get to decide what stays, what shifts, and what transforms. The more you practice, the more this awareness begins to infuse your daily life. You catch yourself before falling into emotional spirals. You sense tension in others without absorbing it. You walk into chaotic spaces and become the calm within them. You walk out of stressful moments feeling grounded rather than drained. And perhaps most powerfully, you begin to choose how you feel, not reactively, but deliberately. This is energetic sovereignty, the ability to hold your center no matter what moves around you. Not because you've shut the world out, but because you've learned to dance with it. Because you've realized that everything is energy, that everything is movement, that everything can change. And you, yes, you, have the power to shape it all. Now that your awareness is expanding and your perception has sharpened, the question naturally arises. What now? What can you do with this ability to feel, to move, to shape energy? It's one thing to sense the invisible threads weaving through every moment. It's another to become a conscious weaver, braiding those threads into the fabric of your reality. And the truth is, you already do this. You've always been shaping reality with your energy. Only now you'll be doing it on purpose. Everything begins with thought. Every building, every invention, every work of art or personal achievement was first an idea, an invisible pattern vibrating in someone's mind before it took physical form. And behind that thought was something even more powerful: feeling, emotion, intention. These are the true architects of reality. They form the energetic blueprint of everything you experience. So if you want to influence your world, you start there, with the invisible scaffolding that shapes the visible. Let's go deeper. Every time you hold a thought in your mind, especially one charged with emotion, you send a signal out into the energetic field. That signal creates a ripple, and that ripple interacts with the field around you, drawing in, aligning with, or repelling other vibrations. The more focused and emotionally invested the thought, the stronger the ripple. This is not mysticism. This is energy dynamics. You are a broadcasting tower, transmitting frequencies with every heartbeat, every belief, every emotional response. So the question becomes, are you sending out signals you actually want to live in? Or are you unconsciously repeating the vibrations of fear, doubt, and past wounds? This is where practice turns into mastery. Instead of allowing your thoughts and emotions to run on autopilot, you begin to direct them like a sculptor with clay. You visualize not just what you want, but how it feels to already have it. You don't just dream of peace. You breathe it in, let it radiate through your cells, let it settle into your nervous system like a memory of something already known. You don't just hope for strength. You embody it, imagining your spine straightening, your breath deepening, your presence growing rooted and unshakable. This is how you create vibrational fields that draw in people, opportunities, and synchronicities that resonate with your signal. And here's where it gets even more powerful. You can anchor these intentions into objects, gestures, and moments, creating energetic landmarks in your life. These are more than habits. They are rituals, symbols, reminders that realign you with the energy you choose to embody. Try this. Pick a small object, something you can carry with you. A stone, a necklace, a key. Hold it in your hand, close your eyes, and breathe your intention into it. Visualize it absorbing your energy, your desire, your vision. Feel it becoming a living extension of your focus. Now, every time you touch it, let it call that energy back to the surface. This is your anchor, and every interaction with it becomes a micro-ritual, a way to pull yourself back into alignment, even in the midst of chaos. You can do the same with gestures. A simple hand over the heart, a breath held and released, a phrase whispered under your breath. These small acts become energetic codes, keys that open doors inside you. Over time, they build power, and the more often you return to them, the stronger they become. But manifestation isn't just about imagining a better future. It's about inhabiting a new energy now. You don't wait until the thing appears to feel gratitude, peace, or joy. You generate those feelings now, and they become the signal that attracts your future toward you. That's the paradox. The more fully you embody the energy of what you seek, the less you need to chase it, because it begins to meet you. Let's break this down with a simple exercise. Think of something you want to call into your life, not from a place of lack, but from a place of expansion. Maybe it's a feeling of deeper connection, financial abundance, vibrant health, or clarity of purpose. Close your eyes. Picture it vividly, as if it's happening right now. See the details. Feel the emotions. Let the experience come alive inside you. Breathe into it. Now imagine a light surrounding this vision, shimmering, pulsing, alive, and see that light expanding from your body outward as if it's broadcasting your vision into the field. That is your signature. That is the energetic imprint you're sending out. Return to this image often, not from desperation, but from trust. From the knowing that this field responds not to words or wishes, but to vibration. And as you hold that vibration more consistently, the world around you begins to shift to match it. This is the real power behind manifestation. Not forcing, not controlling, but aligning. The world becomes a mirror, and your energy sets the reflection. But remember, the field responds to your dominant signal, not the one you think you're sending, but the one you actually live in. So if your days are filled with stress, doubt, or resistance, that's what you're amplifying. And that's okay. It's just feedback. It's not punishment. It's a message, a gentle whisper from the universe saying, "You're out of tune. Let's try again." And so, you return to your breath, to your focus, to your energy. You adjust, you realign, and each time, you become more fluent in the language of creation. Of course, the deeper you go, the more nuanced this work becomes, because you start to notice not just what you're projecting, but what you're absorbing. Energetic boundaries become crucial, not walls that isolate you, but filters that protect your signal. Imagine wearing a cloak of light, soft, flowing, but strong. It filters out frequencies that aren't in harmony with your path. It allows in what nourishes you and repels what depletes you. This is not avoidance, it's discernment. You're not here to absorb every frequency that passes through your space. You're here to curate your experience with awareness. And that brings us to another layer of mastery, the energy of spaces. Just like people carry energy, places do too. Homes, rooms, workspaces, they hold the imprint of every emotion, every interaction, every thought that's occurred within them. And once you become sensitive to energy, you'll begin to feel these imprints as soon as you enter a space. But instead of being overwhelmed, you learn to influence it. Start with your own environment. Walk through your home as if you're meeting it for the first time. Pause in each room. Feel the air. Is it light or heavy? Calm or chaotic? Where do you feel relaxed? Where do you feel unsettled? These are clues, messages from the space itself. And once you listen, you can begin to shift it. Use sound, clap your hands, play music, chant. Let vibration cleanse the air. Use light, candles, natural sunlight, lamps that warm the corners. Let light saturate the space. Use scent, sage, Palo Santo, essential oils. Let aroma rewrite the mood. Open windows, rearrange furniture, bring in living plants. Let nature breathe through the walls. And above all, infuse your intention. Walk through your space with a clear thought. This is a place of peace. This is a sanctuary of clarity. This is a space where my energy thrives. Every object, every corner, every moment becomes a carrier of that intention. You don't just decorate your home, you program it energetically. And the beauty of this work is that it multiplies. As your energy becomes clearer, stronger, more coherent, it begins to affect those around you. Not through force, not through persuasion, but through resonance. You walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts. People calm down. Conversations become lighter. Possibilities open up. You don't have to say a word. Your energy speaks first. This is leadership at the highest level. Energetic leadership. The ability to hold a frequency so stable, so rooted, that others rise to meet it without even knowing why. You become a tuning fork, a lighthouse, a living invitation to something deeper. And perhaps that's the point of all of this. Not just to change your own experience, but to radiate that change outward. To become a source of alignment in a world that often forgets its center. To remind others simply by being that peace is possible. That clarity is within reach. That energy, once mysterious, is now a language we can all learn to speak. So if you're feeling the call to go further, to refine your practice, to deepen your relationship with the invisible, know that you're not alone. You're part of a wave, a quiet revolution of people remembering who they are, people stepping into their energetic truth, people learning not just to survive this world, but to shape it. And the next step is not in some far-off temple or in the pages of ancient books. It's right here, in your breath, in your body, in the space around you. You are not waiting for energy to awaken you. It's been waiting for you all along. Now that you've walked through the gateway of perception, practiced the shaping of your energy, anchored it with breath and intention, and begun to understand how you influence not only yourself, but the spaces and people around you, there remains one last step. Not a conclusion, but a new beginning. The transition from practice to embodiment, from student to master. And mastery, as you'll discover, has nothing to do with perfection or control. It's about presence, ownership, the quiet confidence that comes from knowing, not hoping, not guessing, but knowing that you are energy in motion, that you are the sculptor and the sculpture, the wave and the ocean. Mastery begins when you stop searching for the next secret and start becoming the secret. You realize that what you've been chasing, clarity, power, healing, was never something outside of you. It was always here, waiting behind the noise, behind the distractions, behind the conditioning that told you to look elsewhere. And once you feel that truth, it changes everything. You no longer chase transformation, you live it. That's because energy doesn't respond to effort. It responds to resonance, and resonance comes from alignment. So now, instead of constantly trying to fix, improve, or overcome, you return to your center. You sit still, you breathe, you listen, and you let the field speak through you. This is the moment when life stops being a struggle and becomes a dance. You begin to notice the rhythm behind every challenge, the symmetry within every loss, the grace inside every pause. Even chaos has a pattern. And once you align with that deeper pattern, you stop resisting and start guiding. You guide not by force, but by frequency. So how does this look in daily life? It means you wake up each morning and check in, not with the world, not with your phone, but with your field. You ask yourself, what am I vibrating today? What energy am I carrying into this day? Is it scattered or focused? Heavy or light? Contracted or open? And without judgment, you adjust, you realign. Maybe you start with a breath. Maybe you light a candle. Maybe you sit in silence and just feel your body. Maybe you draw a symbol, touch a crystal, chant a word that returns you to your core. Whatever the method, the point is the same. You begin your day by tuning your instrument, and that changes everything. Because once you're in tune, the music of life sounds different. You notice things others miss. You pick up on opportunities, subtleties, the unspoken. You feel when a conversation is about to shift. You sense when someone needs support, or when to step back and let silence do the work. You begin to navigate the world, not from reaction, but from coherence. And as you do, life starts to feel less random, less overwhelming, more like a reflection of your inner landscape. You realize that the universe isn't responding to your words, it's responding to your energy, not just in the big moments, but in the micro vibrations of your thoughts, emotions, and states of being. This is where responsibility deepens, not in a burdensome way, but in an empowering one, because you finally understand you're not a victim of your circumstances. You're the author. But authors don't write blindly. They choose their tone, their rhythm, their themes. So do you. When challenges come, and they will, you don't collapse. You respond with presence. You don't ask, why is this happening to me? You ask, what is this showing me? You recognize that dense energy, resistance, pain. They're not enemies. They're invitations. Signals pointing to where your energy is misaligned, where your perception is stuck, where your truth is still waiting to be lived. You meet those moments, not with fear, but with curiosity. You hold them in your field like a teacher would hold a difficult student, not to punish, but to understand. You breathe through the discomfort. You listen deeper. You ask, what is the frequency beneath this? And then, instead of resisting it, you transmute it. You take the raw material of challenge and alchemize it into growth. That's the real gift of energy mastery. Not that life becomes easy, but that you become unshakable. You become so attuned to your field that nothing can hijack your state unless you allow it. You no longer walk into rooms hoping to fit in. You bring your own frequency, your own space, and that space becomes magnetic. People begin to feel it. They're drawn to you without knowing why. They feel calm around you, safe, inspired. Not because you're louder or smarter, but because your field is coherent. You're no longer at war with yourself. You've become a tuning fork for peace, for clarity, for possibility. And without even trying, you begin to elevate the energy of those around you. This is the quiet power that changes the world, not through force or rebellion, but through frequency, through presence, through example. But let's go even further, because energy doesn't just help you navigate the external world. It connects you to the deeper mysteries within, the parts of you that lie beyond thought, beyond personality, beyond story, the part of you that existed before your name, before your memories, the consciousness behind the eyes, the stillness beneath the waves. When you become still enough, when you soften your mind and expand your awareness, you begin to sense it, something vast, infinite, not separate from you, but made of the same fabric. It's not a thing. It's not even a place. It's a presence, a current, a pulse that moves through everything. Call it source, call it spirit, call it the 0 point, the void, the field, the all. Whatever name you give it, what matters is this: it lives in you. It breathes through you. And when your energy field is clear, when your mind is quiet, when your heart is open, you feel it. Not as a belief, but as a direct experience, a recognition, a homecoming. This is what the mystics have whispered about for centuries. What ancient traditions tried to map with symbols and rituals. What science is only beginning to describe in the language of quantum fields and unified theories. But you don't need a telescope or a microscope to find it. You only need stillness, presence, willingness. Because at the deepest level, energy work is not about control. It's about surrender. The paradox is that the more you let go, the more power you gain. The more you dissolve the false self, the masks, the roles, the fears, the more the true self emerges. Not the self that tries to be good, successful, or spiritual, but the self that simply is. Pure awareness, pure vibration, pure being. And from that space, everything becomes clear. You know what to say, when to act, when to rest, when to move, not because you're thinking harder, but because you're listening deeper. You're following the subtle currents of intuition, timing, resonance. You're no longer pushing against life. You're co-creating with it. This is the dance of mastery, the art of energetic alignment. It's not about rituals or rules or rigid systems. It's about knowing who you are and living from that knowing. Not sometimes, not only in meditation, but always. In the grocery store, in traffic, in the middle of conflict, in the quiet moments between thoughts. You carry your energy with you like a sacred flame. You become the temple, the ceremony, the transmission. And so, as you stand at this threshold, ask yourself, what kind of field do I want to radiate? What frequency do I want to leave behind in every space I touch? What legacy of energy am I writing with my breath, my choices, my presence? Because every moment is a message. Every thought is a signal. Every emotion is a wave you send out into the ocean of life. And the more conscious you become, the more precise your signal becomes. The more beautiful your wave becomes. Until one day, without effort or striving, you look around and realize your life is a reflection of your energy. Your relationships, your environment, your health, your success, they all begin to mirror the inner harmony you've cultivated. This is the real shift, not a miracle, not a flash of enlightenment, but a steady unfolding, a quiet revolution, one breath at a time. You don't need to be a guru. You don't need a title, a following, or a robe. You only need to remember that everything is energy. That energy follows intention, and that your intention, aligned with clarity and love, has the power to change everything. So now, the field is open. The path is yours. The tools are within you. The next move is up to you.